Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Laurent Boukobza. Today we're going to talk about the fourth and last movement of the fourth Beethoven Piano Sonata. It's a rondo, but as I actually want to correct something, on the third sonata, I said the last movement was a sonata allegro form. It's actually not entirely true. It's actually a rondo allegro form. That's exactly what's going to happen to that fourth movement of that fourth sonata also. It's also a rondo, but it is a rondo sonata allegro form. It seems that Beethoven lacks the rondo idea, but he lacks the allegro form also. So once again, if you want to hear about the sonata allegro form, I made a very long video that explains all of it in details. I suggest you go watch it first. It's going to be a lot easier for you to follow. Going back to that sonata, we have the first theme, which is very lyrical, very beautiful. But what's interesting, and has been a theme, no pun intended, throughout this entire sonata, this fourth sonata, is the repeated note. You remember the first movement we had? So on the second movement, we had... You see, these repeated notes came back. And then on the third movement, we have beep, pa, pa, pa. That keeps coming back. And also, so we have these repeated notes non-stop. And here at the left hand, we have going to have the bridge to the second theme. Most of the accompaniment of Beethoven in that piece will be repeated notes, not D'Alberti based pattern like. Not this one though. We're going to have a lot of this. The theme. Lyrical theme, it's a poco allegretto e grazioso and very gracious. He doesn't want a last movement in firework. Not this time. The third sonata, firework. The first sonata, firework. But the second sonata and the fourth sonata, not so much. He wants something that's very gracious. We have a section that we're going to recognize through the entire piece. So we have that suspension, that fermata on that note, which sometime will go and sometime will go different places. So we're going to see that. Then comes the bridge, that famous bridge I was talking about. And now we recognize that my left hand crossed my right hand. That's interesting because Beethoven in here is going to cross left and right non-stop. And that reminds you of the second movement of the third piano sonata. So that technique he found to cross the hands, he was like, yeah, I should develop that. And he's developing it in here. That bridge will go to that section. So now we have the second thing. So all of that section is between E flat major and B flat major, which is kind of normal because we are in the dominant of E flat since that last movement is in E flat major. Then he goes back, because it's a rondo, to that beginning. And then that section I said we will recognize it. Surprise, because it's Beethoven, he makes a crescendo to a piano. That same E flat that we went to. But this time we're not going to do this. And a very strong section in C minor. The C minor, not that far. We're actually in E flat major, C minor, they're relative keys, so it's perfectly normal. And we can call that the development. Because it's not really A, B, A, C. Because that's not a complete A we have, it's just the head of the A. We arrive in here. And Beethoven's getting very interested by these half steps. He's going to lead this half step. I'm going to talk a little later about this. And go back to the beginning. So we're back to A, or in that case, I would call it the recapitulation. And as the recapitulation, we'll have a bridge that's going to start the same way. The first time we had this. So we go to C minor, which announced basically the development. But the second time, we go to F minor. Then we're going to be able to go back to E flat major. So that's going to be very convenient to do that. Second degree, 5 degree, and that's why here here's the second theme. We have our second theme in E flat, which is perfectly normal because we are in the construction of a sonata form, so the second theme should be in the key of the sonata, which is E flat major. So everything is very, very fine in here, but comes all the surprise from Beethoven. After recapitulation, where do we go? We go to the coda usually, so here's it. A complete scale going from here to here. Chromatic, meaning we don't know what key we're going to arrive in, but so far we're going to stay in E flat major. After we are in E flat major, technically speaking, we should end the sonata now, because we're at the end of the recapitulation, so we should have a little ending. But Beethoven's not going to end this way. He's going to do more chromaticism. You heard that? That's pretty out there. Then he concludes. And that should be towards the end, like this is the end of the piece. Repeat the note. That same note with the fermata, this time it's a half note, so much longer. And we should do. And this is the end of the piece. Now we're going to enter into full coda, but listen to that magical coda. A half step higher. The chromaticism I was talking about. And now he's going to transpose the now in E major. For E flat, it's not really the same. We're the Napolitan key. Not for long, of course, because he's trying, he's pushing the limits from 155 to 183. So once again, almost like a 30 measure coda. Now, it's 180 bars movement, so 30 measures not as significant lengthwise, but look at what happens in there. Back to the key. And now you go back to the key of E flat major. I let you discover the end of that coda, and we'll see how soft and beautiful. After this long sonata, 32 minutes on stage to play this whole sonata, and look how it ends. In a very calm and quiet way. You will see it's very soothing. So let's listen to that last movement. So you heard how soft and beautiful that movement ends. It's actually incredible. After such a long sonata, it's like, let's have peace, let's rest now. So I hope you enjoyed my interpretation and my presentation. Don't forget to like my videos, the little thumbs up, and also to subscribe, share the video to everybody around, let them know of this sonata, this presentation. You can find more about me, of course, on the description below. That has all my links to Twitter, Instagram, and so on, and Facebook, and so on. And of course on my website, laurentboukobza.net. I'll see you next week for the first movement of the fifth sonata. Bye now.